Hello 100 Kid Down, what's up people? Back with another video, and today we're previewing Ipswich Town versus Brentford. Before we get into anything, you know we got to do the shout outs. Massive shout outs to Angel Care Homes, to Mark Darcy and to Desi Borders. By now you should already know what they do. Their details are in the description, so make sure you check them out. And like we say each and every video, we want to grow the channel, so make sure you subscribe to it if you ain't already. Make sure you smash the like on this video as well, and of course turn the notifications on and leave your thoughts in the comments. All that comments and all the likes and everything, it helps with the YouTube voodoo and all that algorithm stuff. So yeah man, it helps this video and this channel gets into more and more people, man, so help us out, man. But yeah man, let's get to it then. So in terms of head-to-head then, we've played each other 19 times, so Saturday will be the 20th meeting between our clubs, and Town have edged it. So there's been 6 draws, Brentford have won 6 games, and Town have won 7. So obviously if Brentford win on Saturday, they will equal our win record against them, or whatever you want to call it. Last time out obviously was against them back in at the G-Tech back in October. That 7-goal thriller. Was that Clark's full debut when he got the red? And obviously, I think that was her first Premier League goal. We've got it all on the vlog. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. There's a playlist. You'll see vlogs. You'll see the Brentford game. Go watch it. But yeah, they edged it that day. And then last time out at Portman Road was September 2018. 1-1. If I remember correctly, it was the new era. Remember all that? The new era and all the rest of it. Under Mr. Paul Hurst, and then we had Paul Lambert, and then we had Paul Cook, and then we finally got rid of the Paul curse. But anyway, the new era as it was dawned then. So September, early on in Hurst, well, Hurst didn't really last that long, did he? But in Hurst's tenure, or whatever you want to call it. And if I remember, I want to say Neil Mopay scored that game. So they were winning 1-0. I think first half they battered us, if we remember. And I think we were quite fortunate to go in 1-0 down at half-time. I want to say Mopay scored, or he was definitely involved in the goal. And then for Town, this was his second goal of the season, his second Town goal, and his first league goal for Ipswich. And he would go on to score 28 goals for Ipswich during his time at Town. But he scored late on in the second half, and that was a game of 2 halves. I think we edged it in the second half, and I think the result 1-1 was fair. But who scored that goal for Town? Do you know? How much do you know Ipswich Town? Let's see your football knowledge. Let me know in the comments. So the man in the middle, it's Samuel Barrett. He's a familiar face to us. He is we're the club that he's refereed the most. He's refereed us 11 times. In terms of his ref stats, then he's done 150 games. He's done 36 in the Prem, 27 in the Champ, and 50 in League One. And then he's done obviously the Cups and League Two as well. Like I said, for Town, we're the club that he's refereed the most, and that's been 11 games. In those 11 games, there's been 5 wins, 5 draws, and only 1 loss. And you know when that loss was? Earlier on in the season at Portman Road, when we lost 6-0 to Man City. So hopefully it stays just 1 loss by the end of the game on 5 o'clock on Saturday. For Brentford, he's refereed them, I think, 4 times. There's been 2 wins and 2 losses. Last game he ref for Brentford was the 3-1 quarter-final Kebab Cup loss to Newcastle. No shame in losing to the eventual winners. And he also refereed their 2-1 home win against Crystal Palace earlier on in the season. Actually, that was on my birthday, August 18th. Hint, hint. But yeah, August 18th, 2024, Crystal Palace, Brentford. Brentford would win 2-1. He wrongfully disallowed a Eze goal, which he then said in the papers later, or whatever media outlet, saying, you know, it was wrong and the goal should have stood. So I'm hoping that he'll scrutinise Brentford maybe a bit more, and maybe that may play into our hands. I don't know. But yeah, fairly young referee. I can't think of anything too controversial. He did obviously referee us at Portman Road when we played Watford towards the end of last season at home. He refereed that 4-0 win away at Millwall. Ali Al Hamidi night, as we call it, me and Saj. That was a beautiful moment, by the way. Just side note there, singing Ali Ali or whatever in Millwall Stadium. But yeah, man, if you know, you know. But yeah, um, yeah. So he's done some refereed some memorable games for us and some important games, and we've been on the right side of them. So, whilst it's not, it makes no difference to our season. We know we're relegated. It'd be nice to put some more points on the board and just finish as high as possible. So in terms of the game then and what can we expect? Like I said last week, I wanted to see good performance and we turned it out. So although we ain't got nothing to fight for the first game after we were officially relegated up at Newcastle, and like I said in the vlog last week, it was probably the most complete performance. So that's what I want to see on Saturday, man. I want to see again complete performances. And we'll get into, score predictions, player lineup, all the rest of it. But before we do that, man, let's hear what Brentford are about, man. So let's just check out what Michael had to say on all things Brentford FC and how they're going to turn out against Ipswich on Saturday. Let's check it out.
Hi, Callie. Mike here from the Eden Road podcast. You've sent over some questions for me to answer before the Ipswich Brentford match on Saturday. So I'll just get straight into it. On a grade of A to F, how would you rate the season so far? To be honest, all things considered, I think it's been a really good season for Brentford. I think it was weird at the start of the season. We had that amazing home record and a really poor away record. And now this calendar year, it's kind of flipped on its head, I should say. And we've got one of the best away records in the league, but crucially, we've started to win at home again. So I think on the basis of that, considering we still have something to fight for with as low as 8th position this season, getting a European place potentially if Palace don't win the FA Cup, I would have to say, to be honest, for a club like Brentford, for the injuries that we've had to key players, people like Igor Thiago, who was brought in as Ivan Toney's replacement, who hasn't played really any sustained minutes all season. Gustavo Nunes, another one who we brought in last summer, who we were really excited about, who we haven't seen pretty much all season, but they're both starting to come back to fitness now. The problems at fullback that we've had, Rico Henry's been out, Aaron Hickey's been out. With all that considered, I would have to give this season an A because I think we're on course to break our points record in the Premier League. I don't really think the performances have ever been too bad, especially against teams above us in the league. Maybe there's been a couple of games where we've been slightly off it, but a lot of games we've been losing, or the games that we've lost, I should say, we've lost by kind of 1-goal margin. So not too much to complain from on our end. I would have to give this season an A so far. Who's been your player of the season? Obviously, Brian Mbumo and Johan Wissa will get all of the plaudits this season because of the amount of goals that they've scored, 18 apiece at the moment. But I actually think Mikkel Damsgaard has been just a shining light in our team. I feel like when Brentford signed Damsgaard, I'm sure Ipswich fans will know he was the one that scored against England at the Euro semi-final in 2021. We signed him off the back of that a year afterwards. But he came to Brentford with an injury, and the injury problems kind of persisted throughout his first couple of seasons at Brentford. He'd play really well, then he'd get injured, then he'd come back and he'd not really look up to scratch. And then by the time he starts playing well again, he gets injured again. So he's had a bit of a roller coaster kind of journey at Brentford. But this season, I feel like he has just kind of exploded onto the scene. He's the creative spark in midfield. He always looks forward. He's got 10 assists to his name already, which I think is only bettered by a couple of other players in the league. But I just think, his close control, his technical ability, his passing range, the fact that he's building up this chemistry with Brian Mbumo and Johan Wissa, I feel like he's the kind of metronome in the team that everything kind of goes through. So I think for us, our player of the season has been Mikkel Damsgaard. But obviously, Brian Mbumo and Johan Wissa have also been just fantastic. Kind of our front four, Brian Mbumo, Johan Wissa, Kevin Schade and Mikkel Damsgaard. They've all been really good. Kevin Schade less so, but particularly the three. They've just been, the goal involvements, I think attacking wise this season for Brentford, we've been near our best, which is, a bit of an achievement considering the narrative kind of after Ivan Toney left was how Brentford going to cope. And in terms of scoring goals, we've scored a lot of them. And I feel like we haven't needed that kind of direct outball. Obviously, it helps having a big target man up top. And Igor Thiago was supposed to be that guy. But I think Brian Mbumo and Johan Wissa have picked up the slack tremendously. And, the numbers speak for themselves. So my player of the season is Mikkel Damsgaard, but obviously Brian Mbumo and Johan Wissa have been fantastic. Who is the unsung hero of the season? I would have to say he's not unsung from a Brentford perspective, but maybe one that wouldn't get the kind of plaudits from non-Brentford fans. Nathan Collins, our centre-half, has just been fantastic this season. Our defensive record as a team isn't great. I think it took us a very long time to even keep a clean sheet in the league this season. But from where Nathan Collins was last season to where he is now, and the consistency of performances is night and day. There was a bit of like a running joke amongst Brentford fans that last season he'd be either really good or really bad. There was kind of no in between. This season, he's been really good and he's never really dipped from that standard that he's set. Ball playing centre half, but he has the qualities of a modern day centre back that you'd want, and also the qualities of traditional centre back that you'd want. He wins everything in the air, but he's so calm on the ball. He's got a good passing range. So yeah, Nathan Collins, I think, has been fantastic this season. I have no idea why Wolves let him go, because he's a future captain of Brentford if he stays at the club for long enough. One area where you think Town could hurt Brentford. It's difficult because we've won our last 3 and we've looked really good in each of those games. However, even the United game, we conceded 2 late on. We have looked a bit fragile in defence. I don't think scoring goals has ever been a problem for Brentford this season. But sometimes, because we've adopted this new style of play in which I don't want to say new style of play, actually, because we adopted it, because we've kind of evolved. I feel like when we had Ivan Toney, we were a little bit more direct. Whereas this season, we've started to play the ball along the ground a lot more because we kind of consolidated our status in the Prem. And we're starting to take a few more risks, building out from the back a bit more, passing a lot more. And it's in those instances where we can sometimes get caught out. So that would be one area of our game that I think teams can hurt us with. Whenever we've kind of been pressed high up the pitch, we have tended to make mistakes, whether that's Mark Flecken in goal, whether that's loose passes into midfield. That is something that I think Ipswich can hurt us, especially with some of the attacking players that you've got. Liam Delap was an absolute handful when we played the G-Tech when he came on, but George Hurst was just as good, and now he's started to find some form as well. So I predict there's going to be goals, to be fair. I don't think it's going to be Brentford running away with the result, because if the last game, the reverse fixture, is anything to go by, there's going to be joy for both teams going forward. Predicted lineups, I don't think we're going to change too much from the game against Man United on Sunday. I feel like we'd be unchanged, which means Mark Flecken in goal, Michael Coyote at right back, centre-half pairing of Nathan Collins and Sepp van den Berg, Keane Lewis Potter on the left, midfield pivot of Christian Norgard and Yehor Yarmouk, with Mikael Damsgaard just ahead of them. And then on the right, it'll be Brian Mbumo. Through the middle, it'll be Johan Wissa. And down the left, it'll be Kevin Schade. Score predictions, this is a really big game for us, because if we don't win on Saturday and other results don't go our way, then we could be in a situation where we go into the final 2 games of the season and we're praying for other results to go our way in terms of getting into that European spot. I think it's a must win, considering the games that other teams around us have got. And I do think with our away form this season, with our away form in this calendar year, I should say, I can't see Brentford. I don't think Brentford lose the game, to be honest. I think it's a draw or a Brentford win. I'm going to go 3-1 Brentford for the score prediction. I'm confident we've won our last 3 games. And even though Ipswich obviously have nothing to play for anymore, I just think Brentford will get the job done and give us really a lot of hope going into the final 2 games of the season. Memories of Ipswich, and if you've been to Portman Road before, yeah, I've been to Portman Road a couple of times. The last time, I believe, was a 1-1 draw at Portman Road in the Championship. And I think Nico Yanaris scored the goal for Brentford. But no, Portman Road, I'm gutted I can't go this season, to be honest. I'm working, so I couldn't get out of it. But, in terms of teams coming up from the Championship these days, it's always nice to see someone new, as I'm sure people said about Brentford when we came up, go to new grounds, experience a new kind of fan culture. But Ipswich, proper club, lots of history, and Portman Road, I think, really matches that. It's a shame that you haven't been able to get as many results at home as you'd have liked to this season. I was actually working at the Chelsea game when you beat them 2-0, and that atmosphere was just nutty, especially on full time. It took you guys a while to get that first home win, but the home form is so important, and it's a shame that you haven't quite been able to turn that place into what people thought you might be able to. And obviously there's reasons for that. Recruitment in defensive areas, I think, was probably the main one. But Portman Road, I think, a fantastic stadium. And like I said, I was at Portman Road for the time that you beat Chelsea at home towards the start of the season. I think it was around December time. And it was a rocking atmosphere, and I'm sure even though Ipswich are relegated, it would be the same on Saturday, considering it's kind of the end of the season. Brentford have got something to play for. So yeah, Portman Road, great stadium, and I hope you guys have a good day on Saturday. I hope Brentford win the game. Unfortunately for you, I think we will win the game, but good luck for Saturday. And yeah, if you want to find me anywhere, at the Ealing Road Podcast, at Mike Cliven 5 on TikTok, on Instagram. At Ealing Road Pod on Instagram as well. And yeah, good luck for Saturday.
So there you have it. Obviously, like I said, Michael is knowledgeable. He knows his football, knows about obviously our home form, and about Hursty. Not many, a lot of people have been talking about the lap, and rightly so. And Hurst goes under the radar, so it's pleasantly, it was nice to hear that he knows about Hursty. But yeah, like he said, they're battling for something. They could potentially get a European spot if they get that 8th place. So it's not like they're on their holidays. They'll be battling. Their gaffer's got them set up really well. As he said, when we played them earlier on in the season, their home form was on point, but the away form wasn't. And since the turn of the year, like he said, the away form has picked up, whereas our home form isn't. So in terms of the game then, like lineups and all the rest of it, in fact, let's put the lineups on. This is my predicted lineup for Saturday. So we can go for Palmer in goal. We know Davis is serving this will be his third and final game of his suspension. So I expect it to be Greaves at the left back. I expect it to be Burgess, and I'm going to say O'Shea moves to centre back, and we're going to see Axel return at right back. Midfield pairing, I think that will be Jens and Sammy. And then I think it'll be, as we saw against Everton, so Clark, Enciso, Amari, with Lim Delap up top. So for me, it's a team that, arguably, especially with all the injuries we've got and everything, it's probably the strongest team we have. And it was really good to see Amari back out there on Saturday. I thought he was brilliant. If you haven't seen my player ratings, obviously I put him up there. But yeah, it's one of those where I think we might do something, like home form. We've only got 2 more chances to get another win, ain't we? Or we're gonna, we're still 2025 and we ain't got a home win, so we know that's bad. But I don't know, man. Maybe it was the pressure's off now. We're relegated and players are turning up, or teams are underestimating us. Because Everton last week, although like positionally in the league they didn't have anything to play for, it was still the occasion, and they started off well. They had some good chances, but I thought we rose to that occasion. So I'm hoping we do the same. But I think Brentford, man, with all their class and everything they've got, I think they're gonna upset us. So I think I can see it being one of those games where we go ahead. And here's a prediction. We're going for a Desmond again. Brentford are gonna open the scoring. We're gonna get it to 2-1. And then Damsgaard or someone or Wisa is going to score like late on to make it 2-2. So yeah, man, I'm going for a Desmond 2-2. So yeah, man, like I said, I'm going to be there Saturday. And before we check out, I know I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Share the channel. Let's grow this channel together. It's going to be, a year and a half we've been running this. We've got over 1,000 subscribers. Love to each and every one of you that have subscribed. And big shout out to what I call the legends, if you like. These guys, will put them on the screen now. So these guys, they have supported the channel financially. Obviously, everything's free. I'm never going to charge you for any content, none of that kind of business. But, from the goodness of their heart, they've supported the channel financially, which has enabled, me to kind of get some more kit, more, be it some different software licensing so we can have better quality on the vlogs, be it some better kit and all the rest of it so we've got better quality videos and audio. And obviously there's a lot more things we want to do and all the rest of it. So yeah, man, big up all these legends. They will be automatically entered into a draw like next season, and we're going to kick it off at the end of this season, but we're going to do some giveaways. And it's just my little way of saying thank you, man, to all you guys. I want to get, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. We want to grow this channel as much as possible. So when you comment, when you put the likes in, when you click even the share and stuff and you send it to your friends on WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, all of that helps the algorithm, all of that helps YouTube Voodoo, and it tells YouTube, oh, this video, other people must want to see it, so let me put it in their feed, and more people see it, and we get the, we get the views and we get the subscribers. And here's my promise to all of you guys. If we get 2,000 subscribers before the season starts, and that's a lot, so we're like 750 away from that. So if we get 2,000 subscribers before the season starts, I'm going to make sure that next season every vlog is out before I go to bed after the match day. So even if we're playing Sunderland away at 8 o'clock and I'm not getting back till Cov till 2 o'clock, the vlog's going out on YouTube before I go to bed that day. That's my promise. So let's build it together, man. And yeah, these legends, like I said, they supported the channel financially. You can do that as well if you want. There is a Ko-Fi link in the description. Like I said, it helps grow. So you may have seen it on my Instagram or my Twitter, but we got those AI action figures. We've printed those off as pictures. And we're going to get them signed by all the players that we've got an action figure for. So we got people like Sammy. We got people like Amari. I think we got most people on there. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put up, while I'm talking now, hopefully you're seeing all the different pictures we have or we've made or whatever, thanks to AI or whatever. And like I said, we're getting them signed. But hopefully you can see that. There we go, Mr. Alex Palmer. You can see that, hopefully. And then the main man, Mr. Liam Delap there, again, signed by them. So yeah, those legends that have supported, my thank you, or my way of giving a thank you is you're all going to be entered into an automatic thing. So yeah, man, thank you to all those legends. Let's grow this channel together. And yeah, man, I'll catch you all on Saturday. See you later, peeps.